Can we talk about Harry and Meghan as we're talking about the
If
royals?
we have to.
Do you actually hate them?
No, I actually have less and less interest in them.
But they do feature in a chapter of the book.
They
There
do,
is a
because I
royal
think
chapter.
Yeah, there is a chapter really about the royals generally, but also about, to me, what they represent is the epitome of the worst aspects of wokeism. The virtue signalling, the victimhood, the always blaming other people, the rank hypocrisy, jumping on private jets and preaching about the environment, preaching about poverty on their Twitter account and then having a $500,000 baby shower and so on. There's sort of an underpinning of hypocrisy, double standards, virtue signalling, victimhood, all these things which I despise about the woke mentality. But they've become increasingly less relevant, really.
And there it is, straight from Piers Morgan himself, slicing through the Sussex smog like a royal sabre. Because let's be honest, every word of that hit harder than Meghan's PR team at 2 a.m, scrambling to polish another compassionate brand deal. Piers said it plainly. The hypocrisy, the victimhood, the relentless preaching, it's become the most exhausting soap opera since Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Except this time, it's filmed in Montecito and packaged as moral enlightenment. Harry and Meghan didn't just step back from royal duty, they sprinted into celebrity chaos, clutching microphones and martyrdom like Oscars for best performance in pretending to care. They've turned every wound into a weapon, every headline into a halo, and every criticism into a conspiracy. But here's the part that's truly poetic. They've become the very thing they claimed to despise. The system, the spectacle, the elitism. They don't fight the establishment anymore. They are the establishment, just with better lighting and a Netflix deal. They preach about authenticity, yet everything they do is staged to the millimetre. Every photo is manicured, every statement rehearsed, every spontaneous laugh pre-approved by a publicist. You can practically smell the focus group on their personal truth. And Piers is right. That brand of fake virtue signalling is the rotten fruit of a culture that worships performative outrage. Be kind, they say, as they call their own families racist. Stand for truth, they declare, while spinning fables on primetime television. It's not wokeness. It's weaponized narcissism wrapped in victimhood. Remember when Harry used to be the cheeky, loyal soldier, the one the public actually adored? That man disappeared the moment he swapped Sandhurst discipline for Santa Barbara yoga mats. Somewhere between the Oprah sofa and the Spotify flop, he traded his spine for a script. And Meghan, oh Meghan, the woman who could have had it all. Global platform, royal respect, actual impact. But humility doesn't trend, does it? Authentic duty doesn't get you on magazine covers. So she chose the fast lane. Fame over family, spotlight over substance, virtue over truth. Now they're floating in this bizarre Hollywood bubble, lecturing ordinary people about climate change while flying private. Do as we say, not as we jet, should honestly be their family crest at this point. The Sussexes built their empire on grievance, a business model of perpetual offence. And yet, for two people who supposedly despise attention, they somehow never stop talking about themselves. You could build a solar farm powered by their self-absorption, and the hypocrisy, its industrial strength. 1 minute they're victims of the monarchy, the next they're cashing in on royal titles. 1 minute they want privacy, the next they're selling documentaries about their trauma. They don't want peace. They want applause. Piers nailed it. They've become symbols of everything broken in modern celebrity culture. It's no longer about talent, service, or truth. It's about who can cry loudest while holding a diamond bracelet. They've mastered the art of looking oppressed while living in a mansion. They turned compassion into a commodity, empathy into a brand, integrity into an accessory. And yet, the more they talk, the less relevant they become, because even the public knows when the script's gone stale. You can't play the victim forever when your struggles involve aerial shots of your $14 million home. The world's not buying it anymore. The curtain's pulled back, the performance is tired, the applause is fading. And while they posture about healing and growth, the only thing that's grown is their PR budget. Even Hollywood, land of the eternally fake, is starting to roll its eyes. When Hollywood thinks you're too dramatic, you know you've overplayed your part. Their narrative's collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. They left Britain for freedom, yet spend every waking moment talking about Britain. They claim to have moved on, yet every interview is a séance for their royal ghosts. It's not liberation, it's obsession. And in all of it, you never see accountability, never an ounce of reflection, never a whisper of, maybe we went too far. Because victimhood doesn't allow room for responsibility. They've built their brand on the illusion that they're forever wronged, and the second they admit fault, the empire crumbles. But time has a way of peeling off veneers. The public is catching on. The curtain of self-righteousness is ripping at the seams. And what's left underneath isn't grace. It's greed dressed up as enlightenment. At some point, you have to stop blaming the palace, the press, the protocol, and start looking in the mirror. Because when every bridge you cross bursts into flames, maybe the problem isn't the bridge. They could have been the modern faces of a global monarchy, a bridge between tradition and change, but instead, they chose to be martyrs of their own making. And martyrdom pays well, doesn't it? Especially when it's sponsored by Netflix and narrated by Oprah. So yes, Piers Morgan is spitting facts. Brutal, unfiltered, unvarnished facts. The Sussex saga is no longer a fairy tale gone wrong. It's a morality play about ego, the kind that devours everything good in its path. And here's the irony. For all their talk about authenticity, the only thing real left about Harry and Meghan is how fake they've become. Their time in the spotlight isn't noble rebellion, it's self-parody. A royal reality show that's run out of seasons. The world isn't cruel, it's just bored. And when the audience walks away, no amount of victimhood will bring them back. Because relevance can't be demanded, it has to be earned. And the Sussexes, for all their speeches and statements, have forgotten the oldest rule of all. You can't build an empire on hypocrisy and expect it to last.